Hey there, welcome back. Now let us start our task with login part of token authentication. So if I jump here, I'm not going to add login in this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new app. That means in our Django folder itself, we are going to create a new app here, and I'm going to call this app as user_app. So if I jump here, interrupt this server, and I'm going to start a new app and I'm going to call this user_app. Now the main motive to create a separate app is so we can keep everything regarding account system like registration, logout, login, everything separately, their serializer, their models or their views. So let us keep everything separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this app. You can take any other name, but I still prefer using app name underscore app so we can identify them easily here directly. Now you can directly see these two are our apps. This is our main project folder. Now once that is done, let me jump onto this app, right click and create a new folder, and I'm going to call this as API. So I am going to store that urls.py here, my views as well as my serializer. Let me create 3 empty files. My URLs, my views, and here my serializers. Once that is done, I need to include this particular URL into our main file, which is our main setting and this URL. Here I need to include it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a path, and this is going to be referred as account, and I just need to include it. So this will be, instead of this watch list, I'm going to call this as user_app, then API folder, then URLs. Now inside our URLs, we are going to create all login, registration, logout. This task is done. Let me add some space. Yeah, so you can access this link later also. Let me close this one. Now we need to add all the information here. The basic thing here we need to do is we need to work with login. So by default, Django REST framework provide us obtain auth token. So it's a login link where we can send our requests. So we can send our username and password. We will create a login link, and then we can send username as well as password and then get our token itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is from my REST framework, use auth token. And then inside this auth token we have its views, and then from views we need to import the obtain_auth token. Yep, this one. So this gives us access to token if we send our username and password. Now the next thing is I need to create a URL pattern, but before that I also need to import path. So you can just jump onto this URLs and we need to import this path. Yeah, and then here I need to create URL pattern. So the link name should be login, and then I just need to use my obtain auth token, that is going to be my views. So I'm going to utilize this, and then I'm going to pass a name and we'll call it as login. Okay, this looks fine. Now if I try to access this link, now here let me copy my IP first, and then we need to visit accounts/login. If you jump here, this is login and this is accounts. Also make sure to use REST_framework instead of frameworks. So this is done. Let me get back here. Now here click on body and then select form data. So now we are able to send username as well as password. Make sure to use username only instead of email, because by default Django support username only. Let me use Shubham, and then all I need to use is password. This looks fine, and we need to send a post request because we are sending data, we are not accessing data. So let me send a request, and you can see in response we got a token, which is our authentication token. Now if I visit any page, all I have to do is with my header I just need to carry this token. So if we jump here, go to your admin panel, go to your token, and if you try to match it, this is our token, which is EF something. Yeah, EF. And if I just relog in, I'm going to get same token again and again, unless and until I delete that manually. So this was login part. So once our login is done, we are going to carry this token in our browser or in our mobile app to log in again. So if I need to access this, all I have to do is just send a request, and we have our token. Send this request. Instead of put, I am sending a get request for now, and we have deleted that in the previous lecture. So let me remove this one and let me create something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just jump onto my other app to check out my URL, get into API, check, and to create a review, all I have to do is just use my movie ID /review create. So I also need to check which movie we have. Let me create review for this one, which is PHP, and the ID is 3. So here, let me just jump here, and I'm going to edit this watch /3/review create. Let me send a get request. Send get method is not allowed, but we can create content here. So all I have to do is just jump onto body, and here I can pass raw data, then JSON, and I can pass data according to my own requirement. First, let me check my header. I have authentication, and here I also have my token. That's it. So after logging, I got this token. I'm carrying this token with myself. I have this token in authorization in the form of token, and then here I can just send data for a post request. So let me copy data format first. Let me try to access the list, send information for the first item. Watch 2/review. Okay, we need authentication here also. So let me just jump onto header, copy this one. Sending a get request. Yeah, I need to copy this actually. So let me copy this one, and now I'm going to send a post request here, get into body, paste here. I don't need to pass all these information. All I need to pass is my rating, description, as well as if this is active or not. Make sure to remove this comma. Okay, so I'm going to pass a rating as 5, and I'm going to write PHP movie so we can recheck again. PHP movie. And if I send a post request now, remember I have my login and token. I got an error, definitely. Oh, I need to add a /send. Yeah, so we have created this. This is done. So we have created a new review. If I just jump here, you can see we created this new review. Now that's how we work with the token. So we log in, we got a token, and then we can carry this token. And if I try to send a request without token, you can see I got an error, and that's regarding anonymous user. And if I try to send a request again with authentication, let me change this ID because we have already created review for 3. So let me jump here, just jump to C++. This is going to be 4. So if I send a request to 4 without authentication, send here, I still got an error. But now with authentication, let me call this as C++, send, this is working fine. So I hope you got the idea how we are going to utilize our token. Now the login part was simple. Why? Because Django did the main part, which is creating obtain auth underscore token view. So this helped us a lot to do everything. All we need to do is send a request and get token. Now one thing I recommend is with this login, try different other requests. Maybe just enter wrong password. You can see we got an error. And if I try to pass correct password again, send a request, you can see we got our auth token. So this was interesting and I hope you got the idea. Now in the next lecture, let us understand how to create a user, get the token and generate this token anytime we want. So we are going to do multiple things. And this is going to be pretty interesting because creating user involves lot of tasks with our serializer, with our views, and then generating token is also very interesting. So I hope this lecture was helpful. Thank you for following and I see you guys in the next one.